today we're gonna make little mini shaped Mickey pretzels. They're not like the shaped Mickey pretzels that you get in the parks that are like the size of your head and look like Mickey Mouse with eyes and a mouth and stuff. I'm not that creative, but they're gonna be shaped kind of like a Mickey shape, hopefully. Anyhow, we are using the Disney Family recipe, which I will link below in the description so you can make them at home yourself. The recipe does call for sprinkles. I'm not going to use sprinkles. I'm going to salt mine. I would rather have a salted pretzel than a sweet pretzel. To each their own. So anyhow, we're going to start with proofing our yeast. So we're going to have some salt, some sugar, a packet of yeast, which is 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast if you have a jar. And then 1 1/2 cups of warm water. In a yeast recipe that calls for warm water, it's really meaning about 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a little there. So let's get started. So let's start with 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, or 1 packet if you have packets. And then 1 1/2 cups of warm water, about 110 degrees. Okay. We're gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes until it starts getting kind of foamy. That's called proofing your yeast, if you've ever wondered what that means. So let's set that aside and we'll come back. Okay, so our yeast is all foamy. Now we're going to mix in 4 1/2 cups of flour and 2 ounces of melted butter. I'm actually going to put in 4 cups of flour with the melted butter, and I have 1/2 cup here. The reason being is this recipe is assuming you have a standing mixer, so it'll knead in the bowl and you don't need extra flour, but I'm going to knead on the counter, so I'm going to need more flour for the kneading. The other thing I have, because I don't have a standing mixer, is a dough whisk. It has extra holes so the dough can pass through easily. It's called a Danish dough whisk if you're looking for it like on Amazon or something. And it just makes mixing thick batter and dough much easier. We're going to use a little flour here. Kneading is really important for the gluten, which is the binding of the flour, and you want to really work it in. And this kind of makes the dough elastic. So that's why kneading is so important. Now that we've kneaded our dough, we are going to use the same bowl. We're going to put some oil in it and toss it around to coat the dough. Put it in a warm area to rise. Now, just as a tip, our house is generally pretty cool. So what I've done is I heated the oven up to about 170 degrees a few hours ago. And then I turned it off and I let it come back down. So it's pretty warm in there. It's probably about 80 degrees by now. It's cooled down. But it's warmer than my house. So I'm gonna put it in there to rise for the next hour or so. So let's do that. Okay, so our lovely dough has doubled in size. So here's kind of what it looks like. And we're going to separate this into 16 pieces and roll into Mickey shapes. And This is a nice little tool. It's plastic, but it's like a pastry cutter, so it's much easier when you're working with dough to use something like this so you don't hurt surfaces. Lightly oiled. Shape it. Get it down the middle here. We're going to want to roll these into about 12 inches. Make a circle, overlap, and then take and make, like, coil them in, like ears. And in the meantime, I do have my oven preheating to 450 degrees. And I have my water back here. I have it kind of heating up because we have to submerge these in boiling water. Okay, so now we have to submerge these in water. And then salt them. All right, now time to get out the pretzels. Woo. Look at how delicious those are. All right, let's let these cool for a few minutes and then we will transfer them to the wire rack and we'll try them. So after I did the first round, I realized that I folded the ears kind of up and back in towards the bottom. When I look back at the recipe, they actually folded them up and back in towards the top. So this is B, this is A. You guys let me know in the comments below which one looks more like Mickey. Okay, so we're gonna try them and see how they taste.
Chandler, what do you think, bud?
It tastes like a giant pretzel.
But it is very soft on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's soft.
It has a nice dense texture.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. And it was really easy to make.
Why does the inside taste like by itself?
I think I will make these again.
Y'all tell everybody bye.
Sayonara!